Hey, thanks so much for downloading the latest episode. Today, we are talking about resting bitch face and penises and our ugly and awkward moments of the week. All of this and a lot more. Thank you so much for listening. ShopLipandClip.com. Enjoy the show.
It's another uncensored look at the world around you from sisters who will say just about anything to anyone at any time. It's the Uggs. Jamie?
I just want to do my math homework, you guys.
Paula?
Shut your fucking mouth.
Uncensored as always, it's time for the ugly truth.
Welcome to the ugly truth. Wow. What was that? I felt like I coughed that out. This is episode 405. Ugh. We are not Sisters Who Podcast.
Why are you waiting for that? Just give it up.
Paula, I don't know. Every once in a while, it's in my brain, and it's like
it's
if
like
I don't
Daryl's
say
in your ear. We are Sisters Who Podcast.
Remember? You know what I want? I want him to do the drop. Just, some weird, like, we are Sisters Who Podcast or something, so I don't have to think
That would
about
be
it
funny
anymore.
if he went through like our old episodes and just clipped like us saying those words just in different
Just
like
put it in.
things, kind of like a ransom note style.
Wouldn't that be nice? Oh, like a Cut magazine letter, like a ransom letter.
Yeah, but
with
it's
all
just
that.
like we are
Yeah.
Sisters Who Podcast.
Do you remember? I don't know if you got to do this in school, but back in the day when your teachers actually incorporated art into your school day, which they don't do anymore, but where you would have to donate, your parents would have to donate old magazines so that you could use the photos to create collages.
I remember that.
Did you ever do that?
Yeah, we actually had an art docent, Miss Benning.
Oh, that's right. Art docents. They started incorporating art docents when they started taking art out of the curriculum. And so they would bring in the teachers who were passionate about it would say, we're getting an art docent, God damn it. And then they would bring in someone from the Crocker Art Museum or a parent if they had any kind of art experience.
She was like our art teacher though, because I think she was on the payroll because she taught art in every class, but
Yeah.
she would come by like twice a week or something into our classroom.
Yes.
And
yes.
she was like very hippy dippy.
I freaking loved art.
She would
I hated it that they
she
took
would
it
show
out.
us like actual paintings and like she had this really big leather, I don't know,
Yes.
purse.
The portfolio.
Yeah, and she would show us like art and we'd all be like looking at it like, what? Just trying
Do you
to like,
you know what? I'm just now remembering this, Paula. It must have been Mackenzie, because when Tyler was in elementary school, I had zero interest in doing anything voluntary. But when Kenzie was in elementary school, I was the art docent for her class. And there is like a portfolio of all the masters of art.
I'm just like, what did you bring? A poster of social distortion?
Yes. Young ladies and gentlemen, this is rock and roll. This is punk. We call this anarchist music. Although that would have been awesome, actually, if someone had done that. But no, I
What
had...
did I learn today? Are those rock fingers? What is that?
No, skellies, Mom. They're skellies. Yeah. Mrs. Miner came and showed us all about punk. She'd be like, what's going on at that school? We're in the suburbs, for God's sakes. So, yeah, I did it. And I remember handing out, little ditto sheets, and they would get to color their Van Gogh. I remember doing that now. I totally remember doing that. But now I think it's gone now. I don't think there's
Probably.
even an art docent, nothing, which is too bad. But yeah, I remember vividly being in like second grade, and they'd be like, okay, if your moms have any magazines at home, bring them in and we're going to use them for art projects. So there'd be like a pile of Red Book and Good Housekeeping.
All we had was fucking National Geographic.
No, there was a time period where we had 17 and Cosmo in the house.
No, I only remember having to bring the freaking National. That's because that was all Paul had was National Geographic.
That's right. You were a
and then what
generation
else
behind
was
me.
I going to bring? The Watchtower and Awake? I mean,
That would have
yeah,
been, they were like,
right.
you know what that would have incurred? A phone call from the principal.
I would have rather
That would have
died.
incurred- Oh, please. No one's bringing that shit.
You could make a little witness,
You could just do a rainbow with an arc. That would be a beautiful art piece.
And then maybe just cut out a little scripture and
oh my God.
they'll put it up on the wall and you never know who it would reach.
Oh my God. You know what? That is one of the things that I resent more than anything in the world is being required to bring materials to school to show my teacher. I never did it. I hated it.
You know what I always thought about? it finally hit me because they always made you bring that blue brochure to the teacher.
Yes, to educate the teacher on your beliefs.
Yeah, and the teacher's just like, yes, this is the 6th one I've received already.
Yes, I have a library. Would you like to check one out?
And I was just like, oh my God. I'm like, you know what? I never thought about that. Because, your parents always made you believe, you were the first to do it.
You were the only one. Yeah. I remember vividly the last time I refused to do it. I was in elementary school. I think I was in 5th grade. I'm like, I'm not doing it, man.
I think I hid it in my backpack and then I threw it away in the trash.
Yeah. I'm not doing it. I'm like, you can't make me do anything. I'm over this. I'm over making it a spectacle for no fucking reason.
I remember one time I told I was talking to mom. I was talking to mom about how one of my friends, her grandmother had died, and she made me take a tract about what happens to the death or
I hope you didn't do it. Did you do it?
I had to. What was I supposed to do?
I was rebellious even back then.
I was positive that I had a PI following me or a stepdad or
Paranoia.
something.
Right. Yeah. So, for those of you who were raised in a very restrictive, conservative Christian home, we feel you. That, I guess, is what we're saying. Anyway, so speaking of, before you and I were recording, obviously, it's, on one hand, obviously, I'm very, very grateful that my family is intact. Every single one of my siblings, everybody, my children, my husband, were all good and healthy. But somebody very close to our family passed away suddenly on Friday last week, and it has basically rocked our house to the core because these are people that we really, really care about. I've never lost a close friend before in my adult life. In my childhood, my best friend died of leukemia when I was 12, but I was 12.
Yeah.
I didn't understand the concept of loss at that age, which is kind of a blessing, really, I think, for children to not really get the severity, the finality of death when you're a kid. You don't really understand it. So I think that's great that the mind works that way. But as an adult, you are very aware of what death means. And
sure.
The person, it was my daughter's best friend, her father died, and we're talking suddenly. He had a significant heart attack and he died fairly immediately. They worked heroically. They can't speak highly enough about the emergency services that came out and tried for an hour to revive him, and it just did not work. But man, did it hit home. And you unfortunately saw the brunt of it because you were at my house when, the following day. And I was telling somebody about it, and I said, I can't really understand because I don't feel like I'm making this about me. I'm not feeling selfish about my problems. My empathy is so high. I almost feel like you want to do so much for people that you care about and you have a really strong connection with. There's nothing you can do. You can't ease the pain. You can't take it from them. No amount of booze or food or, sitting with them is going to comfort them at this time. And you feel so helpless.
Yeah.
As a person who wants to. I'm sure you've been through things like this where, I've been through things similar, but a death is very different.
Well, the thing is everybody just has to find their own way, and it's just like, you can try and give your best opinion, or you can, I don't know how to explain it, but
yeah.
The thing is like people will get inundated with ideas of how to, how to get through it. But really the only thing that will help is they might try different paths and things like that. But eventually they're just going to have to find their own way.
I just feel like it's time. Time is the only thing. And you're right. It's a custom job, man. There's no answer on how to deal with the loss. And so he was obviously incredibly young. Mm-hmm. He was in his early to mid 50s. It shouldn't have happened. But now, reeling at, because we're not that old, but we're in that, within that decade, right? And so Daryl and I are just like, what the fuck, dude? This could be us. Like, what are we doing that we can try to prevent something like this? That's basically what happened.
Right.
And after a big glass of whiskey and talking together, and me, of course, bawling because I had started my period and I didn't realize, actually, you and I started at the same time. The day before I was bawling, and I'm like, why am I so emotional other than this being difficult? I was really over the top crying, but it was because I was hormonal. Mm-hmm. But we don't really have any regrets. We tell each other and those who we love every day how much we love each other. We try to gather as much as we can. We don't hold back on our affection. And health-wise, we're doing everything we can. We are very good about going to the doctor every year and, all that stuff. But it just reminds you how fragile life is. And I could not come up with the word. And I was telling Neil, my hairdresser, about this. And I said, I'm just really struggling with the words. He goes, well, it just reminds you how fragile life is. It doesn't even, and I'm like, that's exactly what it is. Why couldn't I come up with that stupid word, fragile? That's exactly what it is like, it doesn't matter if it's a heart attack or a car accident or an illness. It's like, you just have to remember how fragile and just be present as much as you can. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now. With these people, with this family, I'm just like, whatever they need today is all that matters, right? Right. And so that's kind of where we're at. And I just really, man, if you've experienced losing a friend suddenly, I feel you, man. I've never done this. Is new to me, and shit, I thought I've been through it all, but I have not, apparently. So it's humbling, and I'm just so grateful that my family, my sisters, were all intact still. I'm just so grateful. But I did say, I'm like, why is my dad still alive, though?
I know, right?
Like, why is that still a thing?
Well, I mean, there's just, there's really no rhyme or reason to death, is what it seems like. I mean, there's, people die in car accidents all the time. I mean, why does that always happen? You hear about these soldiers that return from 18 months in combat, and then a month later they die in a car accident. Why does that happen?
I know, it's ridiculous. Okay, so I want to switch to something a little bit lighter. I don't know if you saw the article about how women are flocking to the plastic surgeon to eliminate their resting bitch face.
No. Is that okay? Can you get rid of that?
This is basically the thing. A woman, they start by using a woman who said, I was in the middle of this amazing party. I was having a wonderful time, and they took a big group photo, and I'm standing in the middle, and I have resting bitch face, even though I thought I was smiling like lightly. I look like I'm having a terrible time at this huge party, and it was obvious. She has resting bitch face. Just her chilling face, she looks like she's in a bad mood or being a total bitch.
Maybe it was just a bad picture.
So she went to the plastic surgeon and said, what can we do about this? So basically what they do is they basically give them like a Joker cut. Like the Batman, the villain Joker. They cut the side of their lips, and they upturn their mouth surgically, so it doesn't look like they're frowning. But here's the thing, Paula. I totally have resting bitch face. I have seen a gajillion photos where I think I am pleasantly faced, smiling. But I'm not going, because I don't think showing teeth and I don't like that look on pictures. So I just use, I smile, and I look like I'm in a bad mood. And it's happened a gajillion times. Like, I have hardcore resting bitch face. And so, but I would never go and have my lips turned up or my mouth surgically upturned so that I don't look like I'm naturally frowning. So women are begging for this, and they're like, basically they cut and give them the Joker cut, and then they sew it up, and they sew it up so that it's more of an upturn of a smile. And so they showed a before and after of a woman, and I'm like, okay, I see it, but she looks like she has the Joker smile. Like, she legit does.
Who gives a fuck if you have resting bitch face?
I don't. I like having it. People steer away from me. They don't think I'm friendly. It saves me a lot of trouble.
I don't see the problem with. I had a woman comment on my picture the other day, like in a comment thread, and she says I have the dead eyes of a serial killer, and I thought that was a compliment.
Well, thank you very much. I know you want to approach me at Target.
No, and I said, I'm like, good, remember that.
But anyway, I was a little surprised. I'm like, ladies, no, it's a blessing. It's good to have resting bitch face.
Well, here's the thing. It's not even necessary. Well, my face never rests. That's what I'm saying is like, I'm never just at ease, like just chilling.
Just like there's no...
Yeah. My face is at an expression at any given moment. Like, I will look at something and my face is reacting to anything. So if my face has some sort of, unpositive look about it, it's because I'm not liking what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Which is often.
Right.
If someone's talking about something and I'm kind of like snarly and like staring at them, it's not a resting bitch face. It's just because I don't like what they're doing, or
I have an opinion and I'm just not mouthing it.
Or I've just smelled something bad, or, someone just walked by me and they said something stupid and I'm just like, God, why are you an idiot? Or
so true.
I'm looking at people around me and I'm just like, why am I here?
Right. So I don't know why these women are doing it, but they definitely look surgically enhanced. They look like they've had the Joker mouth, even if it's ever so slight. Don't do it. Who cares? I mean, seriously, at this point in your life, you're suddenly you don't like the resting bitch face. You've had it your whole life. RBFs unite. Come on.
It was one stupid picture. My God.
I mean, I remember a joke.
Smile more.
I remember a joke. Well, the thing is with resting bitch face is you think you're smiling, but you're not. That's my problem.
Well, you got to make an effort to really smile.
You have to you have to overdo it. I have, when we went to Hawaii and we were taking a bunch of pictures as a family with the sunset behind us, and I didn't post one of them because I look like I'm having a miserable time. I'm the only one. And I'm like, oh my God, I have to over smile so I look like I'm actually enjoying myself because I have the RBF. I just do. I just been like, okay, well, you know what? It's fine. I mean, I've had it my whole life. What am I going to change it now? Go, please, cut my lips. No, come on.
That's stupid.
It's dumb. Don't do that. How vain are you? I was listening to a joke. This is an old joke that Jim Gaffigan said. He goes, I have more pictures of my children than my father ever looked at me. It's social media. We have so many fucking photos of our faces. It's like, enough already, all right? So I hear him.
I don't really take a ton of selfies, mostly because I don't have makeup on a lot. And
I don't love myself that much. I could never be an influencer. I could never do anything where I'm constantly showing my face.
My body for that matter.
Well, of course, that's a given. But I'm just saying, by the way.
Look at my ankle. It's so beautiful.
Can I talk about something that Stephanie did? She offended me on accident the other night when you guys were at my house.
Okay.
We were all talking about Vegas, and you two are just obsessed with what you're going to wear. And I get it because, it's an event.
Why wouldn't we be? We're old as fuck and we're out of shape, so we have to look like...
You just snorted.
Oh, dork. God.
Anyway, so I was lamenting about how fun it was to pick up Jeff from daycare because... when you have adult kids, you forget, and I'm pretty young to have adult kids, and so you forget how fun it is to have little ones. So I said I really liked it, and I said it was a little odd how free they were with the security of all these little children, but I think it's because they really thought I was obviously related to you. And she goes, yeah, that's true. She goes, I'm just such a disgusting beast right now. And I'm like, hey, what do you mean? I'm like, excuse me?
You had to have known that she's like changes. We all change tracks of thought like every 2 seconds.
But the fact that I just said they thought I was related to you, and then she's like, "Yeah, but I'm a disgusting beast right now." I'm like, "I'm sorry. I didn't realize I look like a weeble wobble. What's going on?"
It was just like Victor the other night. I was helping Ryan with his math homework, and I actually got a problem right. And Victor like double checked the work because, he didn't actually believe I did it right. And I'm like, yes, believe it or not, I can do math. And he's just like, well, it's not like I said you were stupid or dumb or something like that. I'm like, oh, so you conclude that, because I may not be able to do a math problem. I'm stupid or dumb. And he's like, no, I didn't say that. I didn't say you couldn't do math. And I'm just like, just stop right there.
Yeah, just shut your face.
Yeah, because girls can't do math. And Ryan was just sitting in the middle with like his chin tucked into his neck.
He's like, I just want to do my math homework, you guys.
So I use the scientific calculator.
Oh, there you go. God, you know how to use one of those? I don't.
Ryan showed me.
I just poke at it. I just hit it with a stick and hope it works.
Ryan showed me.
Speaking of, you watched it. Daryl made me watch the new Joe Rogan special. Strange
oh my
World.
God, it was so funny.
He's a good commentator on the world of society commentary, and so he was really good. I didn't laugh as much as I think Daryl wanted me to. He did that thing that guys do when they really love something and they keep turning and looking at you like, are you going to laugh? Isn't this hilarious? Like he kept doing that. And I'm like, stop staring at me. Yeah. I'm like, stop staring at me. I'm like, I'm enjoying it. Okay. Just because I'm not like belly rolling laughing doesn't mean it's not funny.
Well, we didn't belly roll, but I was just constantly giggling.
I did too. I giggled a lot. I thought it was really good. He screams quite a bit, and I'm not a big fan of that kind of stand-up, but Joe Rogan is really, really proficient and very good at stand-up and commentary.
He was entertaining. I definitely would like to see him in person.
I thought the second half of that act was just perfect. It was so
It was
good.
Much better. Yeah.
Yes, it was really, really good. And I definitely definitely advise if you have Netflix to watch the Joe Rogan Strange World. I really liked it.
I was totally entertained.
Yeah, me too. I thought it was great. And what's funny, though, is because I'm such an avid listener of his podcast, I'm like, oh, yeah, I've heard about this before. Like half the shit I've heard before.
Oh, okay.
Because he works out a lot of his material on his show, and I didn't realize until I watched the episode or watched his show, his stand-up special. I'm like, oh, yeah, I've heard him talk about this before. That's funny. But he did make some good points, and I thought he was great.
Now that we're watching more stand-up comedians, it's just, there's some out there that are just really funny. Like, well, Jim Gaffigan's just freaking hilarious. Just the way he does his stuff. I don't know. It's just, he's just got a way about him that's really funny.
I've been a fan of Gaffigan since Richard Jenny. I've always liked Gaffigan. So I knew we were recording our show this morning. Obviously, it's early. And so I have, I have workout clothes and a big, huge, like my Angora sweater that I love that I wear only at home, to stay warm. But I love it. And it's snuggly. And my hair is in a messy bun and I've got my glasses on and stuff, no makeup. And somebody is knocking on the door, but they're using their fingernails and hitting the window.
Gross. Who is it?
I don't know. They're all and I'm like, what the fuck is that? So I go, because Daryl's on a phone call. So I go to the door and I look and I don't recognize the woman, but she's this tiny little woman and she's standing there holding a bag of Godiva chocolates like it's a bag of poo. And I open the door and she's probably like our mom's age. I open the door and I'm like, hello. And so seriously, I open the door. She goes, oh my God. And I was like, hi. And she goes, and then the phone rang. Her phone, she goes, I have to take this. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on at my front door? Like, what's happening right now? And she answers the phone. She goes, am I at your house? And the lady's all, she's turned around. She goes, sorry. And she runs away. And I'm like, okay. Obviously, she's at the wrong house. She went to go. She was so surprised that she was at the wrong house, though. The whole thing was so awkward.
That was weird.
Well, welcome to the club. But I've never had someone be frightened at my appearance before. It was very odd.
That would have been weird.
Is this what it feels like to be a man?
Oh my God. Yeah, you kind of wonder what kind of stuff they put up with.
I don't know. Well, we put up with a lot of shit, but they put up with stuff that we don't. So
I wonder at what age they change over to from like, God, that chick's fucking weird to where this is just how they are.
I don't know. I think marriage probably beats that into them somewhere.
Maybe where they're just kind of like this is. I just have to accept this is how women are. And if I want to be with one, this is just what I have to deal with.
I don't know. We'd have to ask Daryl because Daryl's been surrounded by girls his whole adult life.
Well, it's like we talked about the other day. Like when certain words are no longer acceptable, like who decides that and when does that change take place?
Yeah, well, it's just like I told you when we were talking that night. I'm like, I don't know why, but cunt does not bother me like it used to. I think that women have taken that word back, to be completely honest.
But when did that change?
I don't know. But the thing is that, first of all, I was never called that word ever in my life. Like no one's ever called me that. I've had one guy call me a bitch to my face once. One time. It felt like I just looked at him, my eyes narrowed, and it was like, challenge accepted, asshole.
Yeah.
Like I was not offended, like, how dare you? I was just like, bring it on. It was like a call to action. I don't get that. I don't get hurt by someone calling me a name.
No.
But I think it's because we were raised in a world where the least that they did, they never called. Well, no, we were called names. So it was like, that was nothing.
But that's just the whole thing. Is just like, oh, that's the best you've got. You're going to call me a name.
That's exactly it. So to me, it's like, oh, please.
Laughable.
I've been like, I have been hurt by people I loved or cared about far more than you, and
I've this is all you have. The room, and you're going to call me a name.
It's like I've been grabbed by the ponytail and thrown into a refrigerator. Please spare me your antics of calling me a bitch. It's like, you pussy. Yeah, exactly.
Right. Oh, exactly. Ooh, I'm a bitch.
Ooh, I'm a bitch. Whoa. Yeah. And I think the four of us, when we've gone out, someone said, you guys are assholes. Like, woo, we're assholes. God, we're crazy. It's like, they're like, oh shit, they're crazy. Go. You don't want to be a part of that. Yeah,
we're
it's
assholes.
a complete. Cheers, everyone! We're assholes. Yeah, it's so funny. It's like we're ridiculous.
We're cunts.
Cunt. Yeah, it's like we're insane.
1, 2, 3, cunts. Do a shot.
God. Whenever someone says, I really want to go out with you guys, I'm like, you really don't. I'm like, you think you do.
Well, I always feel bad when they say that because they can't. It's it's not allowed.
Here's what happens. It's super duper fun. At first it's super duper tame, and then it's super duper fun, and then suddenly it goes to this next level of chaos, and they usually shut down. And they are on their phone going, I have to get the fuck out of here.
Well,
I don't know what's going to happen. I think we're going to commit a crime, but I've got to go.
There's usually another group that try and incorporate themselves into us.
Oh, God, I hate that.
And
I hate that.
They're just quickly shown the door. And
it never works well. And someone's feelings are hurt. Someone starts crying. There's something. It's
some group of guys think that they're going to be brave. And they're just like, hey, lady, so what's going on? And I'm just like, oh, my God, did you really just say that? Get the fuck out of here.
It's like, what are you, a fetus? Get away. It's like, you have no idea.
Hey, why are you going to be so mean? It's like, because we are. Get out.
Exactly. Bye. Yeah, we're the worst. We're like psychopaths when we're out there alone.
Pretty much.
Speaking of psychopaths, I read this really quickly. A dude somewhere, they're literally keeping this like as anonymous as possible. I don't think it happened in the United States, though. We read about this a while ago where men are injecting Vaseline into their penises to enlarge them.
Does that work?
Apparently it must, because they keep doing it. So this guy injected Vaseline or petroleum or something into his penis to increase the size. And shock of all shock, it didn't go well. He started having itching and irritation. So by the time he finally decided to drag his ass to the emergency room, it had been 2 months.
Oh, God.
When they looked at it, they asked him about his sexual history. He goes, oh, well, it's not that bad. He's like, you have rotting flesh on your penis.
Mm-hmm.
And his penis was literally rotting off.
Why do men wait so long?
Why do men inject anything into their penis? Like, why would you do? I mean, really? With Viagra? I mean, come on.
I can get past that because some men just aren't that smart. But the thing I don't understand is why wait? Like, why do you wait
I know.
until,
Like, it's going to pass.
Like, if it starts to turn black or smell weird, don't wait.
Paula.
Please don't.
And the thing is that men covet their organ. I mean, it's their life. It's their life, right?
Well, I think that's why they don't go, because they're afraid that the doctor's going to try and cut something off. But I'm just like, if it needs to be cut off, then go.
Shouldn't you have weighed your options before you injected yourself with Vaseline?
Did you hit Google at all? I mean, it's just.
I mean, do they have that where you are? But I was like,
with the way it looks, what are your odds of scoring at this point?
Yeah, what woman is going to allow that to enter her body,
or her mouth, for that matter? She pulls out like a strip of skin, and she's like, I
think something isn't right.
Do you have a hair in your mouth? No, I have a whole.
I have your foreskin in my mouth.
I'm already circumcised.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So he lost his penis.
Oh, God.
I hope it was worth that. I mean, because, really, did he fuck anyone in those 2 months? I'm thinking no. I'm thinking he didn't.
I wonder what caused it. I mean, Vaseline's really pretty mild. I don't understand.
Well, I mean, think about the sanitary conditions of it, the injection.
Oh, so were they injecting it into their foreskin?
I don't know where they were injecting it. I didn't get any. They didn't really talk about it. They just said they injected it into their penis to increase the size. I assume girth. Not length.
Well, obviously. They weren't like sculpting a penis out of petroleum jelly onto the tip.
But my guess is that, first of all, can you imagine any man actually injecting themselves with a needle into their penis?
Yes, Jamie.
It's a horrifying thought.
Men will do a lot of things if they think it's going to help. Jamie, think about the things we've done to our bodies. Yeah. I've gotten my clit pierced for a man.
Yeah.
I've rubbed numbing gel on my asshole.
Yeah.
So someone could put their dick in there.
Well, but Paula, sex is a gift. It's sacred. So
shut your fucking mouth. And then
I'm just sorry. I had to do it.
Ultimately leaked down into my vagina and made my inner labia lip swell up like an orange slice.
You know what I didn't realize? Speaking of all of this, I didn't realize I was dating someone who had premature ejaculation, which I didn't even know I didn't even know it. Well, I didn't know because I didn't realize, because I was so young, that, Paula, I tried every elixir,
Well, how many times did you have sex with them?
Well, we were in a relationship.
Oh God,
like a long time.
I gave it twice and then I gave up.
No, we were in a Well, and anyway, so I didn't realize that he had it because I was virginal. Like I didn't realize I thought this was just what it was. And then I'm like, it'd be really nice if you could last for longer than a couple of minutes because, I'd like to have some fun too.
A couple minutes? That's a gift compared to the guy I slept with.
Well, that's where I started to really enjoy oral sex because I realized after one or two people that this was obviously something I'm going to have to deal with for my whole life. I didn't realize that men could last more than a couple of minutes during sex. So oral sex became required for me because I'm like, someone's getting me off and it's not going to be me if I'm with another person here.
Right.
And so it wasn't until, honestly, I got married to a guy who does not have that problem.
Right.
It's a very common thing. Or maybe they're just so aroused because I'm so fucking amazingly sexy that they just can't hold it.
Yeah.
I'd love to think that's what it is, but I just don't know.
That's what I wanted to think. But this guy literally not even 10 seconds, Jamie. Not even 10 seconds.
Quick draw.
Like, yeah. Quick draw.
Unfortunate. Yeah,
each
so
time.
I
literally the moment he entered, it was just like,
oh like my God, it's like, oh.
like he was like clenching, and I'm just like, go ahead.
You're like, really?
I didn't even think there was like one thrust, and then it was over, and I'm just
so
like,
sad.
What is wrong with you? I didn't say that, but I was just like, do you want to like wear a condom or something? Like,
Paula, I tried everything.
Slow it down a bit, or
we put numbing fluid on him. We used super thick condoms. We tried everything.
Is we were older, so I'm just like, you'd think that they would have seen a doctor by now.
And now, I mean, for those men that I was with who had this problem, I really hope y'all got Viagra. Because that at least maintains an erection. At least you can satisfy someone and yourself, and you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's kind of a good thing. And that's,
I mean, I would just think it's sad that,
Well, of course, it's frustrating.
Well, it didn't seem to bother him, but
it doesn't. Well, they came. They're in their refractory period before you even get started.
It came in like 5 seconds. I mean, they probably have more fun masturbating than they do actually having sex with someone.
All right. The only other thing I want to talk about, since we're talking about sex briefly, is I learned a new word today, which I didn't know. Like, this has been the week of new experiences. Somebody came out. It's some non-American celebrity, so I don't really even know who this person is. I just saw the word and I had to Google it. They came out as sapiosexual. I thought sapiosexual was like some kind of form of animal sex, sapio, whatever. But no, sapiosexual means that you are only attracted to the mind, not the body. So you could be basically a hideous beast, but if you're brilliant, that's what they're sexually attracted to, is your mind. And that they don't care what you look like.
Well, I mean, I would say...
I don't think... isn't that... I don't know.
I would say that describes a lot of women, but maybe not entirely, because I think there does have to be physical attraction. Well,
this was a man. This was a man who said he was sapiosexual, and I'm like, what's going to happen? Is some crazy bitch coming out to say that you were in love with her and she looks like a gorilla or something? Like, what is this? Is this like a premeditated statement so that when people see your girlfriend, they don't go, or is it sapiosexual? It's the mind. I don't care what sex they are. I'm only attracted to the mind. You know what I mean? I don't know. I need to do more research on what a sapiosexual is, but I found it weird that he had to come out as that. So I don't know. I mean, isn't ambisexual the same thing?
I don't think they had to come out with that. I think they just,
He was being very brave.
I think it's just probably something that they decided. I mean, what's wrong with just saying, like, I tend to be attracted to people's personalities, intelligence over their physical features?
Isn't that a normal human?
Wouldn't that be kind of saying the same thing?
Isn't that? Yeah. So apparently, but maybe it's an extreme version. I'm going to have to do more. But I had never heard of sapiosexual, so now I got to Google it. Now I got to, read a couple of weird articles.
So Urban Dictionary says, one who finds the contents of someone else's mind to be their most attractive attribute above and before their physical characteristics. That's like women.
Yeah.
That's
you mean women? Yeah, I don't get it. Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm like, that's weird.
And then it gives the example: give me a deep conversation or a passionate debate over brainless beauty any day. Someone who makes me reconsider my long-held beliefs and challenges my mind is a person I can easily fall for. There is no doubt that I am a sapiosexual. No, that just makes you a human being, you stupid ass.
It makes you decent. That's what it means.
That just makes you a normal human being who's mature and is ready for a normal relationship.
I guess we're sapiosexuals.
Sapiosexual.
We're all sapiosexuals except for those fools who only want to see big round tits.
Why does everybody want to fucking label everything?
Paula, please. I'm so exhausted by the hashtags and the labels. I give zero fucks about anything anymore. I think that's why I'm so...
they need a book for labels. Just called the book
Oh my
labels.
God. We could do a coloring book for labels. We could be social justice warriors unite. Here's your coloring book. Pass it out. Actually, they should start passing out labels to educators. Fuck religion pamphlets. Give us the appropriate PC terms that we must know that you will address us by. This is what we believe, God damn it.
That's what I would want to put like on my living room table, a book called Labels. And then just like as everyone's waiting, they can just like open that book and start freaking laughing at like
and then
all
somebody
the labels
and then you and I'll open it and be like, sapiosexuals.
And then you can even make a game out of it. Just like randomly flip to a page, read a label, and see if anybody knows what it means. That's a great idea.
Paula, we're so smart.
Have Daryl cut this out because we're going to do it.
No! You know what? If I Googled labels right now, there'd be some book on it. Some humorist has already come up with it. Yeah, all the good ideas have been taken. Trust.
Right, I know.
Anyway, so, all right. To all you fellow sapiosexuals out there, it's time for our ugly and awkward moments of the week.
Mine was ugly, not awkward.
Okay.
So I had PMS. Well, it was kind of weird. I started my period at your house, of all things. You did.
It was my fault.
But earlier this week, after I already started my period, we decided to go to Wendy's after we picked the kids up from school.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right. You went to the donut shop behind it in the morning.
That was earlier.
Yes. Okay, go ahead.
We went to Wendy's after we picked the kids up from school because we hadn't gone to the grocery store, and we're just like, fuck it. We'll just go to Wendy's and then we'll go to the grocery store later. And so...
Now I want Wendy's.
So the kids like to go inside. Victor does too, because they have those soda machines where you can like push all the buttons and create like a weird soda. Mm-hmm. So we're paying at the counter, and I noticed on the wall they have a plaque that says, if you're a military member, show us your ID and we'll get a military discount. I'm like, oh, Vic, they have a military discount. And so he asked the lady, he's like, oh, it looks like you guys offer a military discount. And he says, can I show you my ID? And the lady, she's like, oh, I don't know how to do that on the register. And we're like, oh, okay. And so she asked the other lady who was doing the window drive-through.
Yeah.
She's just like, do you know anything about the military discount? And she's like, oh, we don't do that anymore. What? And I'm like, well, if you don't do it anymore, because I was already pissed off with the way she said it. I'm like, well, if you don't do that anymore, then take the plaque off the wall. And she just walked away. And then like another manager heard, and she walked up. She's like, no. She's like, we still do that. And she's like, here, just do this, blah, 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 blah. And so the girl walked behind them and she went to like another machine. I'm like, well, if you still do that, you might want to tell what's her face over there. And so she just was like kind of like mumbling to herself. I said, yeah, I'm all, because someone, and I'm like, yeah, and they're like, well, she's new. I'm like, well, if she's new, I'm like, then she definitely sure knows what you guys do and don't do. I said, but she might need a little bit retraining. And so
retraining.
I was pissed. I don't know why I was so angry, but I just got really pissed off.
Sometimes it just happens that way. What are you going to do?
So Victor gave me like the number and the receipt. He's like, why don't you go take these cups and give them to the kids? And so
he's trying to diffuse the situation.
So I went and sat down and the kids were just kind of staring at me. I'm like, what? And they're like, nothing. I'm like, could you hear me? And they're like, yes. I'm like, oh. I'm like, well, you know what, though?
Wrong. It was rude of her, not
I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I'm not wrong. And I'm like, and I don't care if you guys heard me. I'm glad you heard me. I hope you stand up to people like that who treat you like shit.
Well, isn't that the lesson we're trying to constantly teach our kids? I mean, seriously, it's like...
Stand up for yourselves and don't sit there and quiver in front of a fucking Wendy's cashier, you know?
And not to mention this, it's one thing to respect authority. It is quite another to just accept a plate of shit because you don't want to cause a problem. It's like, come on, you know, it's like everybody's just trying to make their way through. Do you got to be such an ignorant asshole? I mean, really.
The thing is, I didn't do anything wrong. They're the ones that had the plaque on the wall that said they offered a military discount. And so all we did was inquire about it. And she's like, oh, well, we don't do that anymore. I'm like, well, then take the fucking placard off the wall.
Seriously. And I would be like, what do you mean you don't do that? Does Wendy's hate Americans? I would have been like,
I didn't do
all
that,
in on it.
But I'm just like, then take it off the wall.
First of all, here's the thing. This is why we all live so far away from each other, because if the two of us had been in there, it would have been a scene. And it would have not been good.
Apparently, it already was a scene. I just didn't realize. Apparently, my voice was a little bit louder than I thought it was being.
Please. And hey, as long as you didn't see any phones being whipped out and recording, you're fine.
I don't even care if there was, but
they're like, Paula goes viral for demanding that they honor a military discount, and then Wendy's has to come out, and suddenly you're on your way to Ohio to be given the royal treatment with food for a year because they wouldn't honor the discount, and the said cashier no longer works there.
We love our veterans. Wendy honors all our military servicemen. And
suddenly it becomes a whole thing, and now you're the ambassador for Wendy's of Elk Grove.
Well, you know, Wendy's is so famous for their tweets, so that'd be an embarrassing tweet that they'd have to do.
Oh my God, they're like, our bad. Oh God. All right. So mine's very simple and easy. I was at the salon getting my touch up and I got a haircut. Okay. I did get bangs, but not the kind of bangs that you're thinking of.
All right.
Remember I said I was thinking about getting bangs.
Yeah, I was too late because I saw you posted an hour earlier. I'm like, no!
No, I did force my stylist to give me bangs once, like 8 years ago, and I will never do it again. But these bangs, they're not really bangs. They're super duper long. It's basically another layer like that's surrounding my face.
So like a long layer. Okay.
It's just another layer. I don't have straight across hiding my eyebrows bangs. It's just another shorter layer because I just wanted a little more look around my face. I just wanted some kind of change for the fall because I'm not changing my color. And so I did this. Anyway, that's all. I just wanted you to know. But we were at the salon and I was getting a touch up and I was like, okay, it's time to rinse. And so I was hardcore hemorrhaging on my period that day. And I hate going to the salon when I'm on my period because I feel like a big fat blob. So I always wear all black. And I was just trying to feel as slim, but it never works.
Yeah.
You always just feel gross. And so I don't know what I was doing, but I had my Nikes on. And somehow they have the thick bottoms because they're for CrossFit. And so I was getting out of the chair to go get my hair rinsed, and the giant rubber wedge of my shoe got caught under the step of the chair.
Yeah.
And so when I turned to get out of the chair, my foot stayed. And the rest of my body moved forward.
Oh, God.
And I mean, it was embarrassing. Like, I mean, the whole thing lifted up. There was all the sounds like, and they're always so good about trying to act like it's no big deal when something like that happens. But I literally almost fell on the floor out of the chair.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
And I'm like, I'm all right, everyone. It's okay. It's okay. And I'm like, this is why they have me here, because I'm the only one that is this clumsy and this, not sophisticated.
Not cool. Yeah, I know.
Not cool at all. I'm like, I'm fine, everyone. I'm fine. And everyone is ignoring me. So,
well, that's probably what they're trained to do is just, to pretend like it didn't happen.
Story of my life. So, anyway. All right. Well, that's all I have for me.
Me too. I don't have anything else. Thanks, everybody, for joining us this weekend. Hope you have good plans. Please visit uglytruth.com. Go to Amazon button.
Yes.
And then also, please visit lipandclip.com and get your makeup stuff. It's starting to feel a lot like fall. So get your fall colors. And I think that's about it. So thanks, everybody, for joining us, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Bye.
Thanks for listening and sharing the show. See you next time on The Ugly Truth.